back home. The background is a little bit more boring than before, but it's time to start our live. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, and it's time to begin. We're getting started with some hip cars. Let's go. Do a little dance, shake out your hips, do a little wiggle, and oh, let's get ready to go. Hip cars look a little bit like this. We're starting by bringing our knee up as high as we can. Then we're going to open up that leg out that way. Boom. Try to keep the legs and the hips in a straight line in front as much as possible. Keep the hips from moving. Make your legs move as much as possible. All right. From here, we're going to rotate the leg. Boom. Now the knee is pointing that way. Your ankle is coming up. You're hiding the ankle behind the knee as much as you can. And then we're going to keep going. We're going to bring the knee down. Oof. Bring the ankle up. Oof. We're going to finish by bringing the leg down and back. All right. When we bring the leg down and back, we want to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front. And that is one rep. We're going to do 10 of these on the left side. We're going to do 10 of these on the right side. Let's get going. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up, down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's five. High knee. I think Che just came in. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's eight. Two more. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's 10. Whew. My hamstrings are tired. I just sat in the car for like 3.5 hours driving, so my hamstrings are extra tight and feeling it. We're going to move on to the other leg. Let's go. Same exact movement. Let's begin. Bring that knee up in front of you as high as you can. Open up that leg to the side as high as you can, as far wide that way as possible. Rotate the leg, bring the ankle up, bring the knee down, keep going. Ankle up, knee down, and then bring the leg down and back. When it's down and back, we want to flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here in the front. That's one. We're counting it. We're doing 9 more. All right. Knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's two. High knee. I'm off balance. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. If you are also off balance, feel free to hold on to something. Get a little bit of support. You don't have to do this freestyle like me. All right. Down and back. I think it's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's eight. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Some hip cars. Going forward. I think Chevelle just popped in. Welcome. And those are hip cars going forward. We got to take a couple seconds. Breathe, chill, relax, and then we're going to start going backwards. All right. When we go backwards, the movements are basically the same. We just go in reverse. So we're going to start with bringing the leg down and back. Then we're going to lift the leg up to the side. We're going to rotate the ankle up, rotate the ankle down, bring the knee forward. All right. I'm going to do these facing you so that it's easier for you to mirror me. And I think that's enough talking. It's time to get moving. Let's go. Bring that leg down and back. Lift to the side. Contract these muscles right here. Feel that tighten up into a nice break. Rotate the knee down, lift the ankle up. Do the opposite, rotate the ankle down, bring the knee up, bring that leg forward. That's one. Back. Side. Ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's two. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's three. Back. Side. Ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's four. Back. Side. Ankle up, Ankle down, knee, that's 5, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 6, keep going, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 7, keep going, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 8, 2 more, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that's 9, one last one, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee, that is 10. Whew. Oh, that is some leg stuff. Take a second, breathe, do a little shake, relax those muscles. We're going to shake out the other leg. All right. The point of hip curls is to build mobility and strength at the same time. And if you're super tired right now, if your legs are tired, that's normal. Okay. We're going to switch over. We're going to do a final leg. Stand nice and tall. Keep that core nice and strong. And let's go. Bring the leg down and back. Flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes. Lift the leg to the side. Rotate. Bring the ankle up. Knee down. Do the opposite. Knee up. Ankle down. Knee forward. That's 1. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 2. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 3. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 4. Keep going, back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Is that 5? Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 6. Keep going, back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 7. 3 more, back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 8. 2 more, back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 9. Last one. Let's do this. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's 10. Those are our hip curls and reverse hip curls. We just did 40 reps in total. Shake out those legs. Do a little dance. Wiggle, flop. Shake it out. And if you're just joining in, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day at 9 p.m. to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to do, the suffering we're going to continue to do, a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, and hopefully a little easier to stay consistent with. All right. So if you like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you like the idea of somebody helping you a little bit with your consistency, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep on coming back. We're live every day at 9 p.m., which is basically right now. We started, 9 minutes ago? Something like that. All right, now that you got the spiel, you know what's coming up, we're moving on into warm-up exercise number 2. All right, whew. Come on up into standing. Fold at the hips, bring the belly button down to the ground. Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, just chill for a second. Try to relax your back. All right. Inhale. Relax. One more. Inhale. Relax. Once you're chilling just a little bit, I want you to add a little bit of movement. All right. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other leg. Then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to bend the other knee. We're going to straighten out the other leg. And we're going to keep on going back and forth, doing a little bit of pulsing in between, add in some dance moves, make it fun, play with your arms, do a little dance, swim through the air, I don't know, whatever you want to do, make it fun. Next, let's talk about what you should be feeling. All right. Each leg should have a slightly different sensation for the hamstring stretch that you're in. When the knee is bent, you should have a stretch. When your knee is straight, it should have a stretch. Either way, there will be a little bit of a stretch. Cool? And you might be feeling it a little bit up in your glutes. That is often because the tendons, the things that connect your muscles to your bone, they connect below and underneath the knee and into the bottom of your hips. All right. So oftentimes, if you're feeling a stretch way up here in your butt, it could just be that you're feeling where the tendon connects to your hips. Now that we've done a bunch of those, hopefully you can fold a little bit deeper. All right. Bring that belly button down just a little bit more. Yeah, just a little bit more. And 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's it. Pop into a squat. Come on back into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. That's our elephant walk. All right. Take a second, shake out your legs, do a little flop. We can get ready to get into warm-up exercise number 3. It is called thoracic rotation. The T-spine or thoracic spine is basically below the neck, and around the belly button, this area. All right. It's designed to rotate. It's designed to bend left, right. It's designed to be able to let you round your back, aka slouching, and the opposite, open up your chest. All right. For most of us, we're not doing very much with our spine other than this thing. So let's get into a little bit of rotation together. All right. What I want you to do is get back into position that we were just in. So one leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're folding our belly button down. All right. From here, we're taking the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push off that shin to help, boom, rotate. Extend your other arm up into the air. Rotate your neck to look at that hand, and we're going to breathe. Inhale, exhale. Good. Next, we're going to inhale, exhale, we're going to reach a little further behind us. All right. That's it. Let's go. Inhale, exhale, and reach. Whew, that's one. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Reach. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That is one rep. We're going to do 5 of these in total. I talk fast, but that does not mean you have to move fast. Take your time, and let's continue. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. I just saw a huge comment over, I think, on TikTok. I am too far from the screen to be able to read it. Inhale, exhale, reach. 2. But I will try my best to get to it by the end of the live. Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That is 2 reps. We're going to do 3 more, all right? 5 in total. Let's go. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open. Look at the hand. Breathe and reach. That's 3. Other side. 3 again. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale and reach. That's 4. And 4. Whew. We got one last round. Number 5. We're going to explain it from the top. One leg is bent, one leg is straight, one arm is bent. We're reaching across to the bent straight leg side, excuse me. We're going to push off the straight leg. We're going to open up our chest. We're going to look at the hand. Inhale, exhale, and reach. That's 5 in. 5. Whew, that is our 3rd warm-up exercise. Hopefully, your spine is feeling a little bit more mobile. You might be feeling some tension here because you don't do that much rotation. That's normal. Take a little wiggle, do a little dance, shake out those hips, move that spine, and hopefully that will chill out a little bit, right? If your shoulders are tired from reaching back behind you because you don't do any of that on the regular, don't worry about it because we're not going to use them for anything else, all right? We're going to continue into our 4th and final warm-up exercise. It's called the Cossack switch. It looks a little like this. We're dropping down onto one leg into a deep squat, and the other leg is going to be out over there in basically a side split, all right? What I want you to do is, once you're down here, prepare to scoot your butt over. You might want to put your hands down, boom, come on over to the other side, and then back. That is 1 rep. Once you've done it, you've done it. We're going to do 10 of these in total, but for most of us, our ankles or knees or hips are not going to be ready for this, so let's pre-warm up for our warm-up, all right? Everybody join on in. We are going to do a little bit of squat. Ugh. Come on down to the ground, grunt, groan, do whatever you got to do, and focus on getting as low into a cannonball as possible. Hey, doggo. Okay. Oh, look how cute he is. He's trying to get scratches. All right. Where are we going with this? Bring your chest down to your knees. And if your heels are up a little bit because you are unable to put them down, that's absolutely fine because this is actually going to give us a more intense calf stretch and a more intense Achilles tendon stretch. All right. So chill out here for a little bit. And when you're breathing okay, you're feeling stable, you're feeling balanced, we're going to add a little bit of movement to our show. All right. I want you to try your best to bring one knee down to the ground, then bring the other knee down to the ground, bring the other knee down, do a little wiggle, shake out your hips, do a little dance, and move. All right. Put one leg out to the side, bring it back in. Put one leg out to the side, bring it back in. Bring both legs out at the same time, bring it back in. And that is a whole bunch of movement. Hopefully, your ankles, your knees, your hips are a little bit more prepared for the Cossack switches because we're jumping into those right now. I'm going to move over. You don't have to move because I can't see you, but you have to be able to see me. All right? We're going to put our hands straight down into the ground. We're going to extend one leg out to the side. We're going to drop this heel for stability. So drop that whole foot down and let's get ready to go. If you're newer to the show, start a little bit higher up. If you're a little bit more confident, you got some badass skills already, try to get a little bit deeper. All right? Wherever you are, we're going to sink as low as we can get. Wherever you are is okay. And we're going to focus on the next move. We're going to boot our butts that away. All right? If you're low enough, stick your hands down on the ground. Give yourself a little bit of support. Help walk your hips over to the other side. Sink a little bit deeper and come on back. That is one rep. We're counting it. All right? Keep going. That's 2. If you feel like you can do these without your hands, feel free to continue without your hands. All right? That puts us at 3. Keep going. Come on over. Sink down. Come on back. Sink down. That's 4. If you're ready for some more badassery, feel free to sit up a little bit straighter. All right? Straighten out that spine. Think as if your head is reaching into the ceiling. You might want to stick your arms out in front of you to help counterbalance because before you were leaning super far forward. Now that you're sitting up straight, you might need to use your arms to help balance. All right? This is 5. Keep going. Over and back. That's 6. Now that we've done a whole bunch, your knees might be feeling a little bit of pressure, a little tender. So let's change it up, make it a little bit easier. We're going to slide. I want you to come up a little bit. I want you to scoot that hip over. And I want you to sink down. And then back up. Slide over and down. That's 7. Up, across, and down. And up, across, and down. That's 8. Whew! We got 2 more. We're going to change these into squats. If you're struggling with any of these, by the way, you can always go back to a version that you can do. All right? 9 and 10, we're doing some squats. I want you to power through out of that squatting leg, boom, come into standing, and then slowly sink into the deep squat on the other side. All right? And then go boom, come on out of that, back into standing. We have one last rep. Let's go. Come on down. Boom. 10. Last one. And that's 10. Whew, that is our Cossack switches, Cossack sliding things, Cossack squats. We are done with our 4th and final warm-up exercise. It's time to move on into our stretches. All right? If you somehow still don't know, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to do a little bit more fun so that it's easier to stay consistent with so that we can all make some progress together. All right? If you like side splits, hip mobility, some help with consistency, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. This live is every single day, Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week at 9 p.m. Eastern. If you're not in the Eastern time zone, you're like, what? 9 p.m.? That doesn't make any sense. We started 20 minutes ago. That's the same time every single day. Cool? All right. First stretch. We're going to move on into a hamstring stretch. Whew. I recommend you go grab a little bit of padding for your knee because we're going to drop down onto our knee. I have not been home for a hot second, so I forgot where I put all my stuff. Boom. I have a little bit of foam that I like to use on the ground. You do not need any special equipment. If you have dirty towel that you want to roll up, stick on your knee, perfect. If you have a stuffed animal that has been torn up by the dog, feel free to stick the stuffing back in and put it under your knee. All right? Anything with a little bit of foam. Old sneakers, flip-flops, those will all work. Cool? All right. We are dropping one knee down into the ground. And I want you to stand up nice and straight so that your knees to your hips to your shoulders up to your head are in a nice straight line. Okay? From here, we're going to extend one leg out in front of us. We're going to get ready to fold our belly buttons down to our thighs. This is our hamstring stretch. All right? I want you to fold forward. Fold. As soon as you get stuck, feel free to stop, chill, and breathe. All right? We're going to inhale. And we're going to relax. Let your body drape over your leg. Chill out. One more. Inhale, relax. Inhale, relax. Ooh. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. From here, we're going to add a little bit of movement. All right. We're going to bend the knee. We're going to try and bring our chest down to the leg. Then we're going to slowly straighten that leg back out. All right. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 4. One more. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. And that is 5 reps. Once you've done those, we're ready. Take it a little bit deeper. All right. We're going to do something called the inhale, exhale, fold. What we're doing is taking a big breath of air in, slowly exhaling all that air. And while we're exhaling, we're going to focus on bringing the belly button down closer to the thigh. All right? Y'all ready? You don't got a choice. Let's go. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. When you're in a deeper stretch, your hamstrings are ready to quit. We're going to inhale, relax. Ready? Inhale. Relax. Your body drape over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Oh, let your body drape over that leg, and we're gonna get back into some movement. Bend the knee, bring the chest down, straighten it out. You might notice, compared to the last time you did the knee bend, chest down, straighten it out, you're already much lower to the ground. That is good. All right, knee down. Sorry, knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Once you've hit 5, we're ready to get just a little bit deeper. You ready? Let's go. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Woo. Oh, man. All right. Once you're stuck, we're going to inhale, relax. You ready? Let's do this. Inhale. Flop over that leg. One more. Inhale. Flop over that leg. And a little tiny bit more movement. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Knee, chest, straighten it out. Knee, chest, straighten it out. I'm talking fast, but that does not mean you have to move fast. This should not be explosive. It is not about speed. It is about just getting a little bit of movement. All right? Once you're done 5, we're going to hang out. We're going to hold. Keep that belly button nice and low. Fold a little bit deeper if you accidentally come out of the stretch a little bit. And we're ready to go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. For my regulars, I want you to flex some muscles. All right, I want you to keep that core super tight. See if you can pull your upper body down towards your leg. All right, it's not your chest rounding, it's not your neck rounding, it's not your upper back rounding, it's your core trying to pull your abs down to the leg. Give that a try. 15, 14, 13, 12. Remember to breathe, don't hold your breath. 11, 10, 9, 8. Finally, last thing, try and lift your toes up into your face. Lift that leg. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, everybody relax. Slowly pull that leg in underneath you. Whew. After being in a stretch for a really long time, your hamstrings or glutes might be feeling a little weak because they've been stretched so long. Take a couple seconds, try to flex your glutes, clench your abs, stay nice and strong, and Superman pose. And we're gonna switch over to the other side. All right. The Superman pose is intentional. I'm kind of jokey, but once you flex and contract the muscles, it helps wake up the muscles. All right, and that's what we actually want. All right. Same thing on the other side. This leg is going straight down into the ground so that we're standing nice and tall. And this leg is extended out in front of us. We're ready to fold the belly button down to the thigh. Fold. Whee! Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, we're going to inhale, relax. Ready? Let's go. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Fold your body over that leg. One more. Inhale. Relax. Sink a little bit deeper. Fold into that leg. And we're going to add some movement. You ready? Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 4. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 5. I know I'm talking fast. That does not mean you have to move fast. All right? I'm adjusting the mat and I don't even know why. Ignore that I did that. Stay in your stretch. Whew. Once you've had a little bit of movement, we're going to get a little bit deeper. All right, we're going to keep folding. You ready? Big inhale, exhale, and fold. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down. Whew. Once you're a little bit deeper, we're going to inhale, relax. Inhale. Flop over that leg. One more. Inhale. Flop over that leg. Whew. I'm gonna move a little bit more. Bend the knee. Chest down. Straighten it out. Knee. Chest. Straighten. Knee. Chest. Straighten. Knee. Chest. Straighten. I think that's like 4. One more. 5. Hopefully, you're finding you're a little bit looser, you're a little bit deeper, and it's time to wrap this up with our final inhale, exhale, fold. Y'all ready? Let's do this. Big inhale. Slowly exhale and fold. Fold, 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 fold. Woo. Once you can't go any deeper, we're going to finalize our position with some inhale, relax. Inhale. Relax. Inhale. Flop over that leg. And knee bend. Chest down. Straight. Knee bend. Chest down. Straight. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten. Last one. Knee bend. Chest down. Straighten. And 30 seconds. Let's go. 29. 28. 27. 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. I kind of forgot to tell you guys to do the flexing the core, trying to pull yourself down and lifting the leg up to your chest, but hopefully I'll remember next time because we're going to not get back to it now. We're going to move on into our second stretch, all right? It's called the butterfly stretch. I have kind of slippery floors, so I like to sit on something with a little bit more grip. If you have good grip, you should be fine. It's not that important, all right? We're going to stick our butts, our hips, our shoulders, our heads up against a wall, and we're going to bring our feet together and pull them in towards our groin like so. Okay, this is the starting stretch or starting position of our second stretch, the butterfly stretch. The goal of this stretch is to stretch out the muscles here in the inner thighs, all right, in the groin area. To get into a deeper stretch, what we're going to focus on is bring our knees down into the ground. I want you to use your muscles so you can get stronger and have more control of yourself getting into that position. So I want you to use your glutes, I want you to use your outer thigh muscles, and I want you to clench them, pull them down into the ground, and see if you can get your knees a little closer to the ground. All right. If you're new to the show and you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, what muscles, how do I contract them? Don't worry about the details. Focus on the two main things. One, your groin stretch is getting more intense. Two, your knees kind of went down into the ground just a little bit. All right. If you got those two basic things kind of working, we're ready to move on. Cool. Next, we're going to take our hands, we're going to apply a little bit of pressure right onto the insides of the knees. All right. Just inside a couple inches. And we're going to push down. We're going to hold this for about 30 seconds. On your exhales, I want you to push a little harder. All right. You don't have to flex your glutes or your outer thighs the whole time. You can relax those for a moment. And let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27. When you exhale, see if you can push your legs a little deeper. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. You might be feeling some pressure in the back of your head, in your shoulders. That is completely normal. You're pushing your legs down, but your shoulders are also getting pushed back into the wall, and your head is suffering for it. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. Keep pushing your legs down. 5, 4. If you want, try to contract those muscles in your glutes and your outer thighs one last time so you can get just a little bit deeper. 2, 1, 0. That's it. That's the whole thing. Oh, relax. Whew. If your wrists are tired from pushing your legs down, give them a little flop, give them a little shake. Let your legs relax. Let them come up to wherever they want to be. And we're going to add some intentional movement now. All right. I want you to flap the wings of your butterfly. Lift your knees up, let them drop. Lift your knees up, let them drop. Lift your knees up. And then I guess I'm really like flapping them, right? If you want to just lift one way and then let the other side relax, that kind of works. But I'm Pretty sure I'm going up and down intentionally. So you try to flap your wings. All right. If your legs are moving pretty good, we're ready to move on into side split. Sorry, side split. Stretch number 3, the standing pancake. We do have side splits. That's coming later. It's not right now. So I misspoke. All right. Get rid, ah, get rid of that little piece of foam, and we're gonna get into some standing pancake. All right. What I want you to do is open up your legs decently wide. If you can get to about 60-ish degrees, you're doing great. You don't have to go any further than that. If you are not feeling pain, so no pain in the hips right here, there's no pinching sensation, then I want you to prepare it to fold and bring your belly button down towards the ground. Fold, 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 fold some more, fold again. Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, we are in our starting position. Okay? From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. Boom. It's going to look just like our elephant walks, our first warm up, or second warm up exercise, and that is okay. Main difference is our legs are a little bit wider. Okay. The goal of the pancake is to fold our body deep, 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 so that our body is in between our legs. It is really hard, and that's why we do the version of the standing pancake, which has gravity pulling our whole entire upper body into the ground, giving us as much help as possible. All right. To make gravity work better for you, you can extend your arms so that your biceps are by your ears, and that should feel way more intense. If you want to go crazier, feel free to hold some weight, hold a bottle of water or something in between your hands while you're here, and gravity will be kicking your butt. All right, that is how we're starting. If you want to, this is completely optional. You can widen your stance. You can drop your legs a little bit wider and make that even more intense on your inner thighs. Again, optional. If you're a regular, feel free to try to grab your legs and pull yourself into a deeper stretch while using gravity to help you. All right. Those are all the tips. Hopefully, one of those makes sense for you. And let's drop the belly button down as low as we can go. Take a couple seconds. Bring that belly button down, belly button down, belly button down, belly button down. For most of you, extend your arms out in front of you. Inhale, exhale, relax, and try to get deeper into the stretch. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, put your hands down. Come on out of that stretch. Take your time. If your legs are not coming together, they're completely stuck, try to wiggle your toes into the center of your body, wiggle your heels into the center of your body, your toes in, your heels in, your toes in, your heels in, your toes in, your heels in, until your feet kind of come back together. And then you can kind of walk your hands up your legs back into standing. And that is your standing pancake. The standing pancake is hard on two sets of muscles. One is the inner thigh muscles. We are getting into a wide leg position and hanging out for a long time. These muscles, the inner thighs, the adductors, spelled ADDUCTOR, adductors, are going to be feeling a really intense stretch, but also a really intense contraction because it has to stay there to hold you up in this wide leg position, right? And we hung out here for way longer than 30 seconds. Next is the hamstrings. It doesn't matter if you're folding with your legs together, if you're folding with your legs apart. As long as your hips are folding forward, your hamstrings are going to be getting a good stretch, and they'll let you know. So now that we've had a couple seconds to breathe, shake out the craziness, let's move on into our fourth stretch. We're moving on into some pigeon, I believe. We got the option between the figure four and the pigeon, all right? If you have one that you already recognize that you like, feel free to jump into that one. I'm going to demonstrate the pigeon today. Both the figure four and the pigeon have the same fundamentals, and we'll talk about that right now. We're going to take one leg, we're going to bring it across the other side. It's going to make this thing that kind of looks vaguely like the number four, why it's called the figure four stretch. We're going to grab that ankle. We're going to bring it up to our belly button. We're going to bring the belly button down to our ankle. And from the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're folding forward. We're feeling a stretch here in the side of the hip. This is a glute muscle. And we're also going to feel it here in the hamstring. And probably we're actually doing the folding. All right? Let's talk about the pigeon. We're going from this position, right, to the ground. Sit on down. You don't have to do it the fancy way like me. You can just sit down like a normal person. But since I'm able to do it with that motion, I gotta show off a little bit, right? To make me look like I know what I'm talking about. Next, we're gonna keep that leg across the body. We're gonna try and get this middle line between our eyes down to our belly button. We're gonna try and bring it down over our leg. I generally recommend you find a midpoint between the knee and the ankle. Figure out where that is, and then try to line up the middle line that I was talking about to that midpoint when you fold forward. Boom! Come on down for a test run. If you feel some stretching going on in the hamstrings, if you feel some stretching going on in the outside of the hips, you're doing great. All right, let's talk about some details. This leg can just be doing whatever it wants. It's not that important for our stretch. But if you've done some yoga before, you've done some other stuff, and you're like, no, 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 that's not the pigeon. The pigeon has you sticking the leg back behind you. All right, that is true, but it is completely optional for our purposes. All right, if you want, you can do this version where your leg is extended behind you. For a lot of us, you're going to immediately notice a whole bunch of stretch right here in the hips, and you're going to feel a whole bunch of pressure on that back knee because it's the first thing that touches the ground, and it's going to be the first thing that's fighting your tight muscles. So, to make this a little bit easier on your body, you can do a couple of things. The first thing is stop trying to sit up so straight. All right, lean forward, straighten out, pretend you're lying down, and there'll be less pressure on your knee. The other thing you can do is get your toes underneath you so that the toes are what's touching and not your knees. That is going to be way more comfortable because your toes are designed to touch the floor and your knees not so much. All right, we have another option, and there we go. I was wondering where that was. The other option is to elevate your front leg, right? If your front leg comes up, chances are, unless you are almost demonically flexible, your hips will also come up, right? When your hips are up higher, there's way more room underneath you for your leg to extend behind you and for you to get into comfortable position. Once you're here, you can still do the same forward fold, but your back leg gets a bonus stretch as well, all right? That is the pigeon in a lot of detail. Let's get into it, do our 30 seconds on each leg, and get out into our fifth and final stretch. All right, leg is coming across our body. We're taking that middle line, we're trying to drop it down to the midpoint between the knee and the ankle. Optionally, you can extend that leg back behind you. I want you to try and bring your body down to the ground, but keep your hips the lowest. All right, hips are low, then we're folding forward. Turn yourself into a big old pile of jelly and sink into the floor. Ready? Let's go. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26. Every time you exhale, see if you can deflate a little bit more. If you can relax more muscles, drop your hips, drop your belly button deeper into the ground. 22, 21, 20. If you suddenly notice the stretch got way easier, like super comfortable right now, you might have let your ankle slip towards your groin. All right, grab your ankle, push it a little towards the direction of your face, and all of a sudden that stretch should get crazy in your booty. All right, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. Keep on trying to sink a little deeper into your stretch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our pigeon stretch. We're gonna switch over to the other side. All right, not gonna do nearly as much explaining because you already know the drill. We're taking the leg, we're bringing it across the body, midline, midpoint. Keep the hips low, extend the leg back if you want, and we're folding. Make sure your hips are lower than your chest. Inhale, exhale, and sink into the floor, turn into a little pile of jelly. Let's go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26. Oh no, I don't think these pants are flexible enough for this pants for this move. 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. Keep trying to sink a little deeper into the stretch. If you're a pro, see if you can straighten out your back. 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh, that is our pigeon stretch. I super ultra fast mentioned that if you're a pro, you should straighten out your back. All right. I'm going to highlight this today and hopefully you can add it in tomorrow. When we are flopping down, usually I tell you just to relax and turn into a little pile of jelly on the floor and get as loose as you can so that you can relax deep into the stretch, right? When you get a little bit more advanced, at some point you'll stop dropping into the stretch. You'll just be stuck. When you get there, you can make the stretch a little bit more intense by instead of, just draping yourself into the floor by straighten out your back. It's the same leverage that we were using when we were doing the standing pancake, where we're having our backs get pulled into the ground by gravity. Same idea. When your back is straighter, but your muscles are still relaxed ish, gravity's going to help pull you down deeper into that stretch, and you should feel it a little bit more intensely in your glutes. All right? That is our fourth stretch. We got one last stretch, stretch number 5. And if you guys don't know, this is a side splits and hip mobility show that we do every single day. So if you've been here for a while, you know we haven't done any side splits yet, and it's a side splits show. So we're doing some side splits. All right. If you've never done one before, don't worry about it. We're gonna break it down into little tiny pieces and try to make it as equipment free as possible so that everybody can do their best and get to wherever they can get. All right. Is there anything else you need to know? I do the show live every single day at 9 p.m. to build a little bit of consistency. All right, both for you and for me. I come in every single day to show up for you guys, and hopefully you keep coming back because you want to get a little bit more hip mobility. You want to move a little better. You want to nail some sick side splits, and because you want to practice the skill of building consistency. All right. So, where am I going with this? I'm not sure. Hit follow, hit subscribe, keep coming back. We're live every day at 9 p.m. That means we started 43-ish minutes ago. Let's get into some side splits. Luigi says, thanks, Ken. Bye. You're heading out before we do the side splits? It's okay. Goodbye. Thanks for letting me know. Thanks for hanging out. All right. Let's go. We're doing some side splits. I want you to move your butt up against the wall so that your whole body is against the wall. All right. Then I want you to take a half step in front of the wall. We're not going very far. It's not a big step. All right. We're taking just an itty bitty baby step right in front of the wall. So we're ready to get into a stretch position. All right. The reason why we're so close to the wall is because the wall is going to support us. We're going to lean into it. It's going to help us feel safe. It's going to help us feel like we can't fall backwards. Cool? All right. Before we continue, I want you to go grab something to help elevate your hands. I have a small folding stool that I got off Amazon. It does not have to be fancy. If you have a taller folding stool or a stool in general, perfect. Boom. If you have some yoga blocks, amazing. If you have a couple of old textbooks that you don't care about because they're basically worthless now that it's been so long since you were last in high school, please stick your hands right on top of those and hope they don't slide and fall apart into a big pile of books on the floor. Cool? All right. From here, we are going to fold forward. All right. If your hips are hurting before we start folding, then bring your legs back in just a little bit and then fold. But wherever you are, our legs are kind of ish wide and our belly buttons are going down. When you have folded forward, you can test two things. One, can you reach the floor? If you can reach the floor, is it comfortable? Can you like kind of move and shift around and still hold on to the floor? If you can, then you don't need a stool. If you cannot, or it's kind of a little challenging, feel free to elevate your hands, use a little bit of support. All right, here we are. Our hands are down, either on the ground or on our support. Our legs are decently wide. It's time to take it to the next level. All right, we're going to rotate our legs so that they get into this position where the heels are down, the toes are up, and the knees are pointing up. The reason why we're doing this, and we're doing it on both legs, heels down, toes up, knees up, is because we're going to make sure our thigh bones don't smash into our hip bones. Right? Boom. Pull that stool in close to your groin, rest your butt up against the wall, and see if you can drop a little bit deeper. All right? Inhale. Relax. See if you can drop a little bit deeper. Inhale. Relax. See if you can drop a little bit deeper. The reason why we're keeping ourselves pinched between the wall and your hand support is because we want you to feel safe. All right. If you feel stable, if you feel like you're in control, even though your muscles really aren't in control, that's going to help you to relax. And a lot of stretching is basically just letting your muscles relax on command. Cool? All right. Now that I have talked about that for a little bit, hopefully you're able to relax a little bit more. Hopefully you've had a couple seconds to adjust. We're going to add a little wiggle. This is all optional, by the way. If you feel like you are too tight, you can't move any further, please go ahead and stop moving and just chill and wait there. All right. If you're ready for more, do a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, a little lean to the right, a little lean to the left, so you can get just a little bit deeper. All right. At some point, maybe you realize this hand support, you don't need it anymore. Great. If you still need it, don't worry about it. That's totally fine. Keep using it. All right. Adjust a little bit so that you're still in a comfortable, controlled position. We don't want you to feel super wobbly like you're about to slip. All right. And we're about ready to get our side splits started. Right now, your butt should be against the wall. Your heels should be down, your knees should be pointing up, and the top of your head should be kind of basically pointing up, right? If you're holding all those pieces, you're in your side splits and you're dropping real low. Congratulations. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds, and that's the whole thing. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Try and do a little wiggle from side to side so you can get just a little bit deeper. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. This version of the side split stretch is going to have you feel it a lot in your hamstring muscles in the back of your leg. All right. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Oh, pull your legs in underneath you. Oh, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Ah, try your best to relax. Oh, man. That is our first side split. All right. Hopefully, if you're new to the show, you stopped where you needed to stop, where you felt like you couldn't go any further, and you were able to rest in that position, hang out in that position, whether with or without some hand support. Okay? Oh, now, we're going to get up, we're going to come back into standing, we're going to shake out our bodies, we're going to get into side split number 2. If you're new to the show and you're like, wait, whoa, side split number 2. Yes, we're doing 3 rounds of side splits. And in between each round, we're going to shake out our legs, we're going to get loose, we're going to help our bodies to relax a little bit so that we can get into a deeper side split number 2 and a deeper side split number 3. Let's go, come back into standing, and let's take a look at this ankle. Let's slowly shake it out. All right. I'm lifting my ankle real high to get it above the chat if you are watching this on mobile. If you're not watching this on mobile, I'm just lifting this really ridiculously high for no reason. All right. But what I want you to do is slowly shake out the ankle. Take a look at it as you shake. Try not to lose balance. And pick up the intensity of that shake as you go. All right. The reason why we're shaking out the ankles is because all the muscles related to our feet getting into whatever crazy position they're in when you're shaking them have to be super relaxed to let your feet get there, right? That's what it is. The faster, the harder you're shaking, the more relaxed the muscles are. Cool? Once you're shaking out one side for a little bit, switch over to the other side and shake, 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 shake. Start nice and gentle. Pick up the intensity as you find it comfortable. Keep on shaking, keep on flopping, keep on relaxing. Turn yourself into some overcooked soggy noodles, some spaghetti that didn't make it into your bowl, and you're like, ew, it's all gross and floppy as you drain it into the sink or whatever. That is what we want your legs to look like. Flop, 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 flop. Hopefully, after shaking out your legs a little bit, you're feeling like it's a little bit easier to walk. It's a little bit easier to move because we're going to move on into some hip stuff. All right. I want you to put all of your weight into one leg. I want you to take the other leg. I want you to put just the big toe down on the ground, pretty close to the standing leg, so that you get into this kind of position. All right. And I want you to focus on bring the knee in, pushing the knee out, 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 bring in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Whew. If you're able to do that pretty well, we're ready to move on to the other side. All right. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. We are moving this bone where it connects into the hip socket. All right. Nothing else is moving. And we're building some strength in our hip muscles, and we're building some control. As you get more comfortable with this, we're going to get into some more relaxed, shaky, shaky, shaky. But until then, you got to build up some strength, some control first. Cool? So, once you're ready to move on from those, shake out your legs one more time, do a little dance, get loose, relax, have fun, and let's get into side split number two. Stick your butt up to the wall, take half a step in front. Open up those legs nice and wide. Make sure your hips don't hurt. If they're already hurting, stop. Bring them in a little bit, and we're ready to fold. Focus on that belly button. Bring it down to the ground. Wee. Ugh. As soon as you get stuck, test. See if you can get your hands on the ground. If you can reach, if you can get there comfortably, you can support some weight. Feel free to skip this next step. If you cannot use your hands on the floor, elevate your hands with something to give you some support. All right. Small stool, a couple of textbooks, yoga blocks, a chair, even a coffee table will do. All right. Just make sure you can take whatever it is that you're using for hand support and bring it close to the wall so you can get into a nice stable position. Cool. If it's relatively lightweight so you can move it, that will be really helpful. Cool. All right. Hands down, butt against the wall. I want you to see if you can externally rotate your legs. What that looks like is this. Boom, our heels are down, our toes are up, our knees are up. All right. Other side, boom, heels are down, toes are up, knees are pointing up. And we are in our side split. You might be really high in your side split, but we're in our side split. All right. Breathe, inhale, relax, inhale, relax, sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. See if you can get deeper than you began ended your previous stretch. That would be awesome. If you can't right away, that's totally normal. Be pretty crazy if instantaneously you're able to get deeper than you did before. We're going to add a little bit of movement if you're ready. You ready? Let's go. Lean to the right, lean a little to the left, lean a little to the right, lean a little to the left. See if you can drop a little bit deeper. Adjust your feet, adjust your hands, adjust whatever you need to make sure you're feeling like you're in a comfortable, secured spot, right? Oftentimes, when you're just following my direction, sometimes your butt will come down real low, your feet are kind of stuck like way out at an angle, and then you get a little too deep, and then you slide out and you fall on your butt, all right? That has happened to me. I think I did it this morning. So adjust your feet, find a comfortable position that you can hang out in, that you feel safe in, and we're ready to continue. For this next version of the stretch, what I want you to do is walk your hands forward a little bit, all right? So that your hands and your shoulders are right on top of each other, and you're taking your whole entire legs with you. Your knees, instead of pointing straight up, and your toes, instead of pointing straight up, they're kind of pointed at like a 45-degree at a diagonal. When we shift into this position, you should feel more of a stretch in your inner thighs, and that is what we want. Add one last final wiggle to the side, and 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10. If at any time you feel like you can go a little bit deeper, feel free to take a little bit more room. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That's our stretch. Walk your hands forward, bring your legs in underneath you, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. Oh man, that is our second side split. All right, slowly come back into standing. We're gonna shake out our legs and get into side split number 3. Oh, do a little wiggle, do a little dance, flop around. If your legs are super tired, you feel like you're kind of limping around like a drunk penguin, that's okay. We're going to help relax those muscles right now. Slowly shake out that ankle. Shake a little bit more. Shake a little bit more. Shake a little bit more. Shake a little harder. Shake, 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 shake. Again, start as slow as you need to. Increase the intensity as you find it comfortable for you. Right? You don't have to go 0 to 100 and go crazy with it. This is about relaxation. If you're trying real hard to reach your maximum speed, chances are your muscles are going to get tense and it's not going to do what you want anyway. All right. So let's switch over to the other side when you're ready. Shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake some more. Shake, 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 shake. Again, all this shaking is just about getting as many muscles in our leg relaxed as they can be. All right. When you're able to shake it out, and your ankles are flying and flopping all over the place, all the muscles connected to them that allow them to get into those positions have to be relaxed enough to go, okay, you go ahead, please, it's fine. That is the type of relaxation we want. All right. Hopefully, you can take a couple of steps now, and it feels a lot better than the drunk penguin thing we were doing earlier. Let's continue with some hip stuff. Come into standing, put all your weight in one leg, big toe is down, bring the knee in, push the knee out, bring the knee in, push the knee out, bring the knee in, push the knee out. Have fun with it, all right? Once you've built a little bit of strength, you've built a little bit of control, you've built a little bit of power in this movement, you start making it fun, all right? One of the things you can do is do a stanky leg, all right? Bring the leg out, pull it in, nice and graceful, and go boom, stanky leg. Other side, boom, boom, boom. But one of the moves we practiced was opening up the leg, right? How do we add that in? Well, you can open up the leg and go boom, push that leg back out, rotate it back in, and go pull it back in. I'm gonna scoot a little bit further back. Boom, in, out, in, out, in, out. If you want to do this without having your foot drag on the floor, in, out, in, out. Have fun with some of that hip mobility that we're working on. All right. We're building strength. We're doing some goofy looking exercises. The least you can do is put it to work, make it look cool, do something real with it. All right. Hopefully, your legs are a little bit more tired, but also a little bit more loose because we're going to get on into our third and final side split. Let's go. Butt up against the wall. Take half a step forward. Open up those legs. Make sure your hips don't hurt. If they hurt, bring your legs together just a little bit. If they don't hurt, fold that belly button down. Boom. Hands down. If they reach, on a support. If they don't, or if you don't want to, open up those legs a little wider and let's rotate. Heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. Extend your legs out to either side. Inhale, relax. Inhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Rest your butt against the wall. Hold on to your hand support. Bring it as close to your legs as possible. Get secure, get stable, get comfy, and we're gonna start leaning to the sides. All right, little lean to the right, little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left, little lean to the right, little lean to the left. And as soon as you're stuck and we're ready to move into our stretches, we got options. The first thing is you can hang out right where you are. You're gonna probably be feeling more of a hamstring stretch when you're doing this. Perfect, perfectly fine. Or option number two, you can go back into the one we were just doing, where we walked our hands forward just a little bit, and you're feeling more of a stretch in your inner thigh muscles, the adductors. Pick whichever one you would like, wherever you are. Let's get ready to go. 30 seconds. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. I'm going to do a slightly different variation. And this one involves a slightly different technique than what you guys have been doing so far. The reason why we have our heels down on the ground and you're feeling that heel pain is because I am not teaching you to do this little back arch. If you want to do a side split where your chest is upright, you got to have a little back arch. All right? If your feet are also down on the ground. If you rotate your legs so that your heels are down on the ground, you don't need that back arch anymore. You can keep your back relatively straight. And because the back arch is hard to teach, I tell you to put your heels down on the ground. But I don't know how many seconds we got left because I got into this description. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our third and final side split. Oh man. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to as you come out of that final stretch. Oh, slowly come into standing. If you got any questions about the third and final side split that I was doing that I did not tell you to do or explain to you yet, Feel free to throw those questions into the chat, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. But otherwise, let's shake out our legs. Shake, 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 shake. Whew. Shake out the other side. Shake, 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 shake. Shake some more. Shakety, shake, 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 and hopefully your legs are moving a little bit better. Next, we're moving on into the hips. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down on the other. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Other side, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Whew, have fun with it. Do some stanky leg, stanky leg. Ooh. Do the opposite, I guess. Push the leg back out, back out. I don't know. You can make that as fun as you want. And the ultimate goal is to just make sure your legs are pretty relaxed, right? So if you want to do a variation, also optional, you can put all your weight into one leg, drop the big toe, and just do a little fast shake back and forth. All right. We're not doing the full in and out. We're just going somewhere in the middle. And if you're putting almost no weight in this leg, the thigh muscles aren't going to kick in. If they stay relaxed and you're shaking your leg real fast, your leg is going to start turning into something that looks like jello. It's going to flop back and forth. It's going to be and if you shake really hard, they'll start to get itchy and then you can stop. But that is a sign your quads, your thighs are super relaxed. All right, other side. All your weight on one leg, big toe is down. You can go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth so fast that your quad muscles are just going. And chances are, if you're able to do that, your legs are pretty chilled out. Cool? Let's wrap up with some joint checks. All right? I want you to slowly do some hip circles. Really sink deep into that hip circle. Ooh, slowly come on through. If anything feels crazy, feels tight, feel free to hang out there a little longer. Ooh, okay, okay, okay. And keep going. Ooh, and again, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. I'm a big believer of sound effects. They make life more interesting. Switch, go the other way. And right after the side splits, I tend to feel it a lot in the left and right sides of the hips. So if you are discovering that is the same for you, feel free to grunt whenever you get there. Okay? Hopefully, after a couple of those, you're feeling a little bit looser, or at least now you know you got to focus on stretching out your butt cheeks or your hips or whatever it is in the hips. And it's time to move on into our next thing. I don't remember what the next thing is. Oh, we're doing knee raises. How can I not remember the next thing? I do the same show like every single day. Once you've done one or two, you've done plenty. We're ready to move on. We're going to do some calf raises from a squatting position. All right. I want you to bring your feet together so that they're underneath your hips. I don't want them to be super close. I don't want them to be super wide. Just right underneath your hips. All right. We're going to pop into a squat. Ugh, come on down. And from the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. All right. I want your butt a little bit higher so that you can lean a little bit forward. All right. And I want you to push your knees forward as well. So that's past your toes. When you got both those pieces done, your toes are going to kick in. They're going to try really hard to grip into the floor to keep you from falling forward. All right. When your toes are working real hard, the arch of your foot should also kick in to help you grip into the floor. And we want that. All right. Put your hands down. See if you can do a couple calf raises from that position. You don't need to use your hands if you don't want to. You can just focus on balance and strength and power. And once you're done, like 5, 6, 7, 8, I don't know, as many of these as you want to, we're ready to stop and talk about why we did those things. All right. When we lean super far forward and we have our knees over our toes, we get a crazy Achilles tendon stretch, we get a nice calf stretch, we get our toes and the arch of our foot working real hard to keep us stable. And then our quads, obviously, were firing and telling us, please stop, this sucks. And when you're leaning forward a little bit, trying to bring your chest down, your low back is usually kicking in, trying to keep you stable. All right. So that combination of low back, quads, calves, feet, toes, ankles, knee, hips, working well together so that you can do all of that up and down, all of the balancing, all of the stabilizing is a good sign that you probably are doing pretty good and you should go back to whatever you got to do for the rest of the day. Cool? All right, that is our live. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, building a little bit of community with me. I hope you had fun. I hope you're starting to relax a little bit now after shaking out the legs, doing some hip circles, and I hope you're ready to wrap because we're done with all of the hard stuff. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna go through the chat, look at Q&A. But before we do that, I think I gotta give you a couple of reminders. One, we do this every single day at 9 p.m. Eastern. All right. It is currently, what is that, 10:06? 10:06. Okay, so we're doing a pretty good on time. It took about an hour to finish the live. And this is basically the show every single day. We do this every day to build the number one most important quality, consistency. All right. I think somebody just said, hi. Oh, hi is the username with three exclamation points. Said I had so much fun. Having fun is awesome. I try to keep this entertaining. I try to keep it lively so that it's easier to stay consistent with. All right. At some point, everybody will have heard every single joke I can come up with. And I hopefully once a week, I think of something more ridiculous to say. All right. But the goal is to build consistency because for most people, having one great workout isn't going to change very much. All right. And this isn't to disparage the one awesome workout. It is to say that to make life changes, oftentimes takes more than once. And it's really hard to show up the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and the fifth time. It's just really hard to show up in general, right? The live is designed so that you can usually do this every single day. It's not so intense that your body should be completely beat up. It might be a little bit difficult this first week if you're just coming in for the first time because you're trying new movements you've never tried before. It might take a little bit to adjust, but the volume of exercise in each of the stretches is not so overwhelming that you can't generally recover from it if you sleep okay, if you eat okay, and you get a little bit of rest. All right. If you feel like it's way too difficult to do 7 days a week, please don't do 7 days a week. That's a lot. All right. I show up and do 9 of these lives every single week to help you practice consistency. All right. You don't have to show up 9 times a week because that's a ton. If you show up 4, 5 times, that is plenty. All right. There is a whole bunch of stuff about this show because it's designed to help us build consistency that I'm probably not going to get super deep into. But the first one is the show is designed so that you can jump into it, do it a couple of times. I try to make sure we don't do too much chit chat in the beginning so that the show doesn't get super long so that our regulars can get through the programming right away, and then I leave the Q&A at the end, right? What are some other qualities of the live? There is some science out there that says if you spend about 5 minutes per week in a stretch, your muscles will help relax and get you into a deeper position. Our life, the way it's designed, if you show up about 4 times a week, you're going to get your 5 minutes. Everything else is bonus. Cool? The dog seems to have heard something and wants to go outside, so I'm going to let him out. Bye, Benji. You going? You going? You're not going? Okay, I'll leave the door cracked for you. And so we're doing just a little bit more than the minimum necessary to see change, but not so much that we can't keep on showing up and practicing consistency. All right. The reason why this live exists is because I have wanted to do the side splits for like 15 plus years. And as you can probably tell, I still don't have them. But for those 15 years, I would start like a really intense, super well researched 3, 6, 9, 10 hour workout on YouTube. And I would develop a crazy plan, and then I'd do like one day, maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days of it. It might last 3 days, it might last 2 weeks, and then I'd drop off and I'd forget about it for like 6 more months. Right. So for 15 years, I would have two really intense, like weeks on average per year, where I really focused on my side splits, and I never made any progress because I couldn't stay consistent. And that's just how 15 years went. And this live exists because I was like, that strategy doesn't work for me. I've tried it a ton of times. I've done the research. I found the very best, the fastest, the 1 month, the whatever side split workout. And I could never stick with it long enough to get any results. So I decided this time around, I'm going to focus on consistency first, build up the consistency, and then I'll figure out the other stuff later. I'm going to do the minimum necessary to see a couple of results, because if you don't see any results at all because you don't do enough, it's just going to be a waste of time, right? It's going to feel bad. So I wanted to make sure the plan was good enough so that we could see results, so I could see results, so I could be like, yay, it's working. But also focus on the most important skill, which is showing up consistently. All right. At one point, this show was like 15 minutes. It is no longer 15 minutes. But I hope you give it a shot and keep coming back, and we build some consistency together. All right. That's enough rambling. I make some other content actually, so it's not enough rambling. I got a little bit more ramble. I make a whole bunch of other content that is about adding a little bit of fitness into your regular life. All right. Most recently, it's kind of been about home workouts, seeing the different things in your home as tools that you can use to get a little bit of exercise. All right. I think our gym culture is awesome. It's fine. But for the majority of us, we don't need to actually go to the gym to be in much better shape than we currently are, right? There's a lot of potential that you can build with just your body weight and a couple of random things at home. And if it's at home, if you see the things at home and you remember all the cool exercises you can do with just your body weight, with a couple of random, kitchen islands, a couple corners in the kitchen, a quick step or two up to the entrance of the house, those are valuable exercises that can make a whole bunch of difference when you only got 2 minutes. All right. If you have 2 minutes waiting for your coffee to finish, if you're waiting for your microwave to heat up lunch, if you're waiting for ramen to soften, whatever, those 2 minutes are super, super, super valuable for getting a little bit of exercise, right? You can doom scroll for the first 30 seconds. Hopefully, you hit follow, you hit subscribe, you get a piece of content from me that reminds you while you're at the kitchen. You can do all sorts of exercises like some calf raises, some squats, some Cossack switches like we did in our warm up today. And if you could do a minute and a half of any of those things, it'd be crazy, right? There's a lot of reps. So don't sleep on those 2 minutes. They add up and they'll probably make you feel real good about yourself afterwards, right? That's the most important part. Feel good, enjoy it, and fall in love with a little bit of exercise because it doesn't feel like a burden. Cool? All right, now I'm done rambling. I'm going to grab my stool. I'm going to check the chat and see what's up. My nose is super itchy. I feel like I need to sneeze, but I haven't sneezed yet. Okay, what are we looking at? I'm gonna start over on YouTube because usually the chat is a little bit quieter there. And then I'm punch over to TikTok. Marqueros says hi. We got some confused people. A cis o muck 4905 says thank you so much for this. Keep it up. I have been a sub for months. Amazing. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for the support, and I hope you stick around for some more side splits and hip mobility because we're live every single day at 9 p.m. Cool. All right. That is pretty much all of YouTube. Queen R says hello, and I'm so late. Sorry. Don't worry. It's all good. We're here every single day. Come when you can. Do a little exercise. Feel good, and do a little bit more tomorrow. Cool. All right. Cindy Art has followed the live creator. Angel Hernandez has followed the live creator. Okay. I'm gonna just read comments now. Tank says, "Hi, I'm a diabetic, 422 pounds. How can I get started?" I have, okay, without hurting yourself. I don't know. I don't have very much experience working with people who are larger, and I would imagine you're probably insanely strong. You just don't know it because your body has to be able to carry how much weight you've got to move, right? I don't have to carry nearly that much weight, so I would imagine I'm actually much weaker than you. And so, first off, you're super strong already. Now, what makes it difficult is you're constantly carrying that weight at the moment. If you want to just get a little bit of movement, you can probably just start with some light joint mobility, right? Your joints are designed to go into a whole bunch of different places. And if you can focus on getting as much range of motion out of every joint and just make sure you know what hurts, what doesn't hurt, what feels good, what doesn't feel good, that would be a really great starting point to help you make sure you don't hurt yourself, right? If you already know your knees are always achy, then you'll know that things that have you working on your knees should be something you take very cautiously, right? But if you don't do any joint warm-ups for your wrists, you might never know that your wrists are also achy because maybe you don't have to do very much with your wrists, but when your knees are supporting your weight, you might be feeling that. Um, what comes after a little bit of self assessment? If you have anything that feels painful right away that you know about, maybe take a mental note and uh, probably want to focus on it in two ways. One of them is figuring out how to do a little bit of contraction without doing too much movement. So there's a type of exercise called isometric exercises where you're basically contracting your muscles as if you're trying to move something, but you're not actually moving. And that should be very valuable for you so that you don't put a whole bunch of pressure on your joints. And, but that type of exercising doesn't feel very exciting because you can't see yourself moving. You don't feel yourself pushing. You don't see like what feels like progress because you're actually doing the work and you're sweating real hard and going, "Ugh," that type of macho stuff. Um, so I think a lot of the time it's not recommended for people because people have a certain expectation of what fitness should feel like, what fitness should look like, and it's not quite that. All right. So, of if you don't know what an isometric exercise is, a good example for everybody would be the plank. That is you flexing a whole bunch of muscles, staying real strong, real tight, and not actually moving anywhere. You're just keeping yourself super stable and you're flexing a whole bunch of muscles, right? The plank is a really good example because you can actually take this much further than the core. Oftentimes, people think of it as a core exercise, but you can actually turn this into a crazy exercise for your whole entire body. Core is tight. You can flex the glutes. Ooh, did you see that? I caught that earbud as it was falling out of my ear. I'm sorry for all the people who had to hear me catch it, though. That probably sounded real bad. Core tight. If you flex the glutes, lock it in. You can also flex your quads real hard, stick your legs straight out, tense the calves, pull your toes in, really tense all the muscles in your arms, and you can get a crazy workout. And I challenge everybody to do this at home. If you could hold a crazy, 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 crazy intense plank for 15, 20 seconds, where you're really flexing all your muscles as much as you can, if you can hold it for 20, 30 seconds, that'd be crazy because it's hard. Um, that is the potential of a isometric exercise. Because there is less movement at the joint level, it is potentially a little bit easier to get that type of exercise in for you without actually having to move at the joints. But typical workout recommendations are going to be something like do multi joint exercises like squats, push ups, bench press type of things where multiple joints have to work together. And that will teach your body how to move a little bit more cohesively and lift weights. Um, I think that's the best that I can do because I'm not sure I have enough experience to help you with your situation. I hope that helps. Cool. All right. What else we got? I'm gonna scroll back up. Chien says you're great. Thank you. Chevelle says thank you. Sends a heart. Hi says I had so much fun. Amazing. I'm glad you had fun. That's good. I try to keep the energy high. I try to keep it entertaining so that it's easier to stay consistent. Luigi says, thanks, Ken. Bye. Liz sent a whole bunch of emojis of me making funny faces. Leroy says, not I, a Charlie. I don't know what that means. Do you have a Charlie horse? Like you have a cramp? Leda Cabrera Short says, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for following. Um, Bookworm seems to have asked a question that Chevelle helped answer in the chat. Let's see. What was it? It seems like Bookworm says, "Are these stretches safe for 50-year-old women?" Absolutely. My mom is more flexible than me. I don't know how she maintains it, but she can drop into pretty much all the stretches except for the side split, much deeper than I can. And she's older than 50. um, where am I going with this? Most of these stretches are going to be totally fine for you to do, assuming that you don't have some pre-existing weirdness going on, maybe in your knees and your hips and your back. If you do have something specific happening in those joints, it might be a little bit more uncomfortable. It might be a little bit more difficult. That I don't know for sure, right? Because I don't know who you are. But in general, they're generally safe for all people. Maybe not really young children, because really young children are extra like limber and stuff, and so that might not make sense. So if you're like under 5, please turn off this video now and move on. But for pretty much everybody else, I think the majority of the people who are on the live, I think my audience is mostly 35 plus. I think you're right, smack dab in the middle. Cool. All right. What else we got? What else we got? I'm scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. M says, "Wow, these are great, amazing. Thank you, thank you for the compliment." Um, do 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 do. Quappa asked the question, "What do I do about the pains in my muscles from the previous ones? Delayed onset muscle soreness." Oh, okay. If you're sore, you're just gonna be sore for a little bit. Um, you don't have to do anything. You can take it chill. You can relax. It'll typically peak on day two, maybe day three, and then after that, it'll start to get a little bit better, depending on how sore and how intense, you know, your last workout was. If you're sore because you did a previous live side split session, don't worry about it. It's fine. You can probably continue doing the exercises. Most of our exercises, most of the suffering that you're going through right now, the delayed onset muscle soreness, is because you're doing something you've never done before, not because we really overworked our muscles that much. Um, the hip cars is a lot. You do 40 reps of those. That might be the exception. But we're doing 30-second holds of most of our stretches, and it's not generally enough to make it so that you have to take like 3 days off. So if you can work through a little bit of the soreness, move enough so that it stops being so uncomfortable, that would probably let you go back to some more workout. But if you don't like being sore and you don't want to work out with being sore, it's totally fine. You can just chill. Cool. Let's see what else we got. I'm scrolling up, scrolling up, scrolling up. Good morning or good evening, everyone. Says Trubu. Welcome back, Trubu. I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling, I'm scrolling. If the phone and the camera is totally like shaking all over the place, it's because I do this on a mobile phone, and when I'm scrolling really fast, it shakes the phone. Oh, okay, sweet. I think I'm pretty much to the top. What else we got? Chase says hello, and hey, I made it all the way to the top of the live today. If you guys don't know, because you're not a regular yet, sometimes the live chat just gets cut off at a certain point, and I can't go far back. But today I can go all the way back. Maybe that means there wasn't that much chat. Anyways, I'm gonna scroll all the way back down to the bottom and see if there's anything left. Nope, we're all good. That is it. There's somehow still 80 of you on the live. We have done 82 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility already today. We are basically done with all the content and all the Q&A as far as I am aware of in the chat. If you got any other questions, feel free to throw them back in. I'll be here for a couple more minutes, maybe a couple more seconds. And I'm happy to answer any questions to the best of my ability. And if I can't answer the question, but I know somebody who can, I'll send you to somebody else. All right. Chanel Caprice says, "Thank you, Ken. You're very welcome. Thank you for being here, and thank you for staying all the way to the end." Is there anything else you need to know? We do this live every single day at 9 p.m. to practice a little bit of consistency, to build that little imaginary checkbox in the back of your brain so that you believe deep down inside that you are a consistent, badass human being so that you can go crush anything that you want in the rest of your life. All right. The superpower we're building is not side splits. They're cool. Those are for show. Hip mobility is also awesome. That's great. But the superpower we're building is consistency. Okay. So hopefully I'll see you soon. And we'll work out again tomorrow. Cool? All right. We got a whole bunch of goodbyes. Chin says, "Thanks, Ken." We got a bye. See you tomorrow from Chevelle. Chin says, "I like your fun side." Have you seen a lot of my not fun side? I know when I'm more tired and I'm trying to get through the show, I can be a little bit less fun, but I think I'm trying to be a little bit entertaining most of the time. Okay. The mornings are hard because Saturday and Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. I get out of bed 20 minutes before the live, and then I'm just going. um, but in general, I feel like the evening ones I'm a little bit better. Chanel says, "I hope so. I just turned 15. I'm getting better." Amazing, awesome. And we got one more from Hi with 3 exclamation points, whose name is Ruth. Ruth, thank you for being here. I hope to see you tomorrow. Cool. All right, I'm closing out. There's somehow 104 of you still left on the live. If you got questions, I'm happy to take them. But otherwise, I'm gonna just leave, and I feel bad. I'm gonna close out.